Welcome to the 611 Films YouTube channel. We are back in 99 with another holiday film. This is, I think, our final one. I'm David Groves. With me, as always, my co-host.
It's Neil McKay. What is going on?
Neil McKay. We're talking about Eyes Wide Shut, the final Stanley Kubrick film. A big film for Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. A weird one.
Weirdest Christmas movie of all time.
Yes.
Well, it's like it fits our theme because it takes there wasn't like a lot of like holiday movies in '99, right. But this one took place around Christmas, so
sure.
And it was just odd. Like it's just an odd movie, and then just seeing the lights, and it was like, oh, this is like Kubrick's version of Christmas.
I think that the biggest thing I was gonna say to you, man, is like I think I saw it around then, or maybe it was on a DVD that I saw. It's definitely been on HBO's or Cinemax's Showtimes before. I definitely would say I've seen the movie all the way through a good half a dozen times. I'm still not sure what it means, what it's all about, or what the point is. I have no idea.
I mean, I feel like it's some sort of like metaphor for like relationships, and the whole thing is, he's kind of teetering on like, am I going to cheat on my wife and all this stuff, and then he ultimately comes back, and it's like this kind of cathartic thing with the orgy that he goes to, and he kind of I don't know, but I feel like it's some sort of this is about relationships and love, and you can go out and be tempted by all these things, but you're still going to go back to the to home and all this other stuff. So
basic plot synopsis, just for people that might not know, might not have seen it. Basically, Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, real life husband and wife at the time. He's a doctor. I think she's like a therapist or something to that effect. And they come back from the holiday party, and they get really high, really stoned. And she starts, Nicole Kidman starts talking about a possible affair she would have had with a friend from long ago, like the summer prior. I mean, this is a long scene. This is just them talking. Her in her underwear pretty much for the entire time. It's like easily 10, 15 minutes long. And that sort of starts this Tom Cruise, I don't know if you'd say it's an unraveling, but this now his like, what do I do with this information? So he's on this weird escapade in New York City, and at every turn, it's like, it's either sexual in nature. It all kind of goes into the quote climax, no pun intended, because he never actually does. He never has sex with anyone, but this massive underground New York orgy with really high up people, all that stuff. But it's along the way he meets all these crazy characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was odd, and I mean, I would definitely say it was worth the watch. I mean, is it the best thing Kubrick's done? I don't think anybody would say, but I mean, I was very much looking forward to this because I knew. I mean, I think he like died during post-production, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he didn't even get to like
before it even came out, right?
Right. So he had passed away earlier that year. Or maybe even the year before, but I was like really excited because I mean that the last thing he had done was Full Metal Jacket, which was in '87. So this was like 12 years later, and I was like, damn, it took him over a decade to do another movie. So I was really excited. I was like young, wannabe filmmaker and stuff. So I was like super like, oh, I love Kubrick and what he does.
Yeah.
So I was like really excited about it, and then I saw it, and I was like, it's cool. It was like it was a good, I mean, it was interesting. It was a fun watch and everything, but like at the end, I wasn't like, oh yeah, like this kind of. It didn't speak to me like A Clockwork Orange or The Shining or what, you know what I mean? Like those were like, wow. Yeah. And this was kind of like, okay, that was cool. But
it's a very ambiguous sort of ending. It plays a little more like, almost like Hitchcock too. Like he channeled a little like thriller-ish. There's a couple deaths or a death in the movie. There's a lot of, the music, that just simple piano riff that they do as a theme throughout it.
Yeah, it was very like creepy and effective, and I'm into that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a little bit of like David Lynch kind of going on with like the masks and the people at the party and stuff. So it was kind of just weird and creepy, which I dug. So I definitely think I think it's just that was the thing at the end. It wasn't really like, okay, so who is responsible for this orgy and like what was the whole deal with that, and like it just kind of was like, all right. That's it.
Yeah. It's this high society high profile people. It's almost like you'd feel like if Tom Cruise was a little later in his career, he'd get an invite to this big orgy, like at some point, but he's just not ready yet for it. Or something to that effect, but he finds his way in. I do remember like hearing about all that stuff with the big thing was the orgy was really out there. Like it was supposed to get an NC-17 rating.
Yeah,
that they digitally removed things
and
all that.
And that was kind of I remember the controversy with that because I don't think if Kubrick was alive, he would be like, no, we're not doing that. But because he passed, they were like, well, we're going to just do this and make it R-rated. So it looked kind of silly because they just like CGI'd these like people walking in front of like, the full blown nudity.
Right. Yeah.
Like what is like a Star Wars where they're just putting stuff in there, like just random CGI monsters and things. And you're just like, what the hell is this? So.
No, exactly. Well, and a good, I was going to say one of those also because, Tom Cruise is back in Magnolia, which we'll talk about at some point, but a big departure for him going from, the Mission Impossible movies and doing sort of like before or like right around this time, he's done this. He does Magnolia. He does Vanilla Sky. And then it's just all action, all kind of sci-fi stuff. Like he sort of jumped into this very, very dramatic roles and never really went back to it.
He was taking some chances. Yeah, like you said, like Magnolia, this Vanilla Sky. Like he was doing some very interesting, not Mission Impossible or Top Gun or whatever. Yeah. So it was interesting to see. And I'm pretty sure him and Nicole Kidman had they were big in getting this. Like I think they like pitched themselves to Stanley Kubrick to do this, to be in the movie or something like that. Like they were like really like, oh yeah.
This could have been the start of his production company too, and wanting to be part producer. Yeah. Like he's producing pretty much anything he's done in the last 20 years. He's also got his production company as a part of it.
Like I just had a deep appreciation for some of this stuff that's like, people are like, I don't care about the lighting, but just some of this, like just the way this looked and the way it was shot, it was just I've never seen anything like it. Just him like walking, downtown, New York City with the Christmas lights and just the way like Kubrick kind of does like, use natural light, he does like the practical lighting where it's like, there's a Christmas, like a light on the, like if you're in a restaurant and there's like a candle, like that's lighting the scene, like do stuff like that. And it's just wild, like how, all these things kind of come together and just the way it looks. And so I think it's worth watching just for that,
Oh yeah, I think the story again, it's one of those interpretations too. I think it's a really cool. It's well acted. I think both of them did very well. And you're right. And it just has that unsettling feeling kind of throughout the whole movie, which I really dug too. I really like that.
And to this day, I think those masks are creepy as. Like those long nose and they come in just these, which is so
stuff you'd see in like more of a horror film. This is a creepy Christmas movie.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I'd say definitely give it a watch. All right, guys. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Back in '99. We'll see you again on the next one. Thanks for watching.